Watch 1226 on your side, wherever you go. From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
Why you may want to use cruise control as you head down the interstate. That's coming up in just a moment. Plus, how Georgia first responders are managing the heat and the most vulnerable. But this just into our newsroom, a convicted killer who was released by a South Carolina judge is now back in South Carolina authorities' custody. A manhunt for Price lasted over a month after he was released. Price was convicted of murder in the early 2000s. South Carolina Supreme Court ruled Price should not have been let go. He will now serve the rest of his 35-year prison sentence. Also, just into our newsroom, a judge in Iowa has blocked a 6-week abortion ban. Abortions in Iowa are legal up to 22 weeks for now. We'll send things over to First Alert Chief Meteor. Thanks, Riley. Today is the day Richmond County deputies are set to begin patrolling the Washington Road and I-20 corridor. At least 17 businesses signed on to give them permission to come onto their property without a warrant and issue citations if people experiencing homelessness cause issues. Our Craig Allison is live at 5 on Washington Road with what business owners are saying about this plan. Craig.
That's right, Will. Some are optimistic, but they're hoping it's not too late. In a town with a limited amount of sidewalk space, businesses are hoping that this plan clears the way for more regulars to come to their businesses more often. Now, even though it's one of the most crowded intersections in Augusta, Two Boys Pizza and Grill says this issue keeps their place a ghost town. Despite being enrolled in the new program, they are still considering leaving in a few months.
Every day it's got worse and worse and worse. If you check our reviews in Google, I have like the best restaurant here in Augusta. You can check that one. But my customers, they scared to come to us now because the homeless people. All my customer now is a new customer come from the highway, from the hotel. But my customers, the one I like, my customers, they come here like one time a month right now.
All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We'll hear from another business that's going through this and their collective hope on what this new program could do to clean up Washington Road. In Augusta, Craig Allison, on your side.
Okay, thanks for that update there, Craig. We're learning more about a crash involving an overturned fire truck on Washington Road at I-20. It happened back in January. We're currently digging through reports, but right now we know the fire truck was damaged and employee Anthony Harris was noted as driving too fast for conditions and rolling the truck as he attempted to make a left turn. The truck was totaled at more than $250,000. At least 2 employees were suspended. We're also learning more about a second crash involving Augusta fire crews. We'll have more on this case and the second one coming up tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock and online at wrdw.com. Well, heat index values are near and over the century mark in the Peach State and across the country. Our State House reporter Abby Kasoris spent the day seeing how it's impacting us across the state.
When the temperatures break 90, like they will most of this week. That's when Georgia emergency crews say they respond to the most heat-related calls. It can start out as heat exhaustion. That's when your body overheats. You might sweat a lot and your pulse will get faster. If that's not treated, heat exhaustion can develop into heat stroke. That's when experts warn you need to call 911.
Once you've reached that point of heat exhaustion, it's too late.
Battalion Chief Danny Dwyer says it boils down to getting the patient cool and rehydrated. Their crews carry first aid kits filled with fluids and cold compresses. First, they get the patient out of the heat, then assess what they can do to rehydrate the patient. The start of football season is a concern right now.
So a lot of the high schools are going to be doing 2-a-day practices, early in the morning, late in the evening, and that's a lot of times we see a lot of heat exhaustion for those guys just because they're outside sweating.
The Atlanta-based CDC found that more than 700 people in the U.S. die every year of heat-related illnesses. More than 9,000 are hospitalized. Children, pregnant mothers, outside workers, and the elderly are at the greatest risk of heat-related illnesses. The fire department made their own display to get the message across to parents. On a 93-degree day, the inside of a car broke 130 degrees in just minutes, and then got up to 158 degrees in nearly an hour.
Don't risk running in for a quick trip into the store without taking your child with you.
In their uniforms, the fire department preaches the need to hydrate at least 24 hours before a shift. In In Roswell, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Thanks, Abby. Former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is returning to the White House. The 60th mayor of Atlanta will now serve as the president's export counsel. She previously served as a senior advisor to the president until she stepped down earlier this year. She said this council serves as the principal national advisory committee on international trade. Today marks 3 years since a civil rights legend passed away. John Lewis was 80 years old when he died during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The late civil rights activist spent more than 30 years representing Georgia. He was known to fight for equality and getting the Voting Rights Act of 1965 after Bloody Sunday. We're giving you a live look at I-20 at the state line. If your commute takes you into South Carolina, you better listen up. South Carolina is increasing efforts to enforce speed limits on the interstate. It's all a part of the yearly Operation Southern Slowdown campaign. It kicked off today. The South Carolina Department of Public Safety says speeding caused more than 10,000 crashes last year. Georgia is also following suit with the National Highway Transportation Administration's saying that speeding doesn't just happen on the interstate.
On our arterial roads that run into big cities throughout the state of Georgia, so those are very deadly in rural areas. Sometimes those roadways are deadly as well.
And Operation Southern Slowdown runs through Sunday, July 23rd. Well, it's been 1 year since the 988 crisis lifeline was launched nationwide. In South Carolina, the need was so great, leading to the state opening up a second call center earlier this year. When Live at 5 returns, what resources mental health officials say they need to keep up with the pace. Riley?
Well, feel like temperatures this afternoon are in the upper 90s to low 100s. By tomorrow afternoon, our actual temperatures will be hitting the upper 90s and staying that way for a few days. We'll have that full forecast coming up.
Right here in the Hobby Lobby parking lot is where volunteers met all weekend to search for missing 15-year-old Aiden Conister. All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll tell you about the search for Aiden and what we know about him being found.
Time and temp.
We've had recent bear spottings here in our area in Edgefield and Trenton, but check out this one caught on camera in Spartanburg County here. One man got a big surprise when he saw a bear just yards away from him taking a dip there. He says he was with some co-workers when they spotted what looks like a young bear near a pond off of East Main Street in Duncan.
My initial reaction was just being shocked because I couldn't believe that the first time I ever see a bear with my own eyes would be in Duncan. We all jumped up out of our seats and got our cameras out. It honestly wasn't really a double take. It was just like, didn't want to take your eyes off of it, you know?
Cape says that the bear hung around for about 3 minutes after being spotted before disappearing into the woods there, trying to get scratched by the tree there. I'm sure a lot of bears right now are trying to find a body of water because it is hot out there. And as you said, Riley, that would make them very cool.
That's right,
Just
Will.
dad jokes all the time from you now.
You got to get that pun in there. Especially, and I mean, that's a cool looking one. He has kind of like a tan snout. I know the one we had pictures of, he was just kind of solid black. That one's got a cool little tan snout. And
that looks refreshing right there, I can tell you that.
Absolutely. That one picture they showed of him when he was near the fence, just hanging onto the tree, he looked back over his shoulder like, I know you're looking at me.
Yeah, he's like, I know where you are.
Yeah. That's funny stuff, but yeah, keep your eyes open, especially if you live in the more rural stretches of the CSRA. We get bears around here, and it is the time of year to where they are spotted, especially if you're near a body of water.
Very cool.
I'd imagine a lot of them are trying to find some water nearby. With the summer heat we got in store this week, folks, if you thought it's been hot the past couple of weeks, it's only getting hotter for us over the next several days. We're talking storms. Here's a full look at that 7-day forecast. So upper 90s once again through Friday into the weekend. Highs actually drop a little bit below normal. Going to have to watch out for a few summer storms though Saturday and Sunday.
All right, thanks, Riley. Since launching 1 year ago, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline has received around 5 million calls from across the country. That includes tens of thousands of South Carolinians who have gotten help in that time. Our State House reporter Mary Green has the details.
South Carolina has seen a significant uptick in calls to the National Crisis Lifeline since 988 launched a year ago. But the state also has more resources now to get callers the help they need.
Having 3 numbers, I think, makes it more accessible to people.
The year before 988 launched, about 30,000 calls from South Carolina area codes came into the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline when it had a 10-digit phone number. In the last year, since that switch to 988, the number of calls jumped up to more than 38,000. That doesn't include people who reached out through text or chat. Until last month, just one call center in South Carolina was taking these calls, but a second location opened up in June. Since then, the answer rate for calls from South Carolina area codes being answered by someone in South Carolina has gone up too.
We know our resources, we know the different accesses to care that we have across South Carolina, and other national backup centers can identify some of those things, but I think it can add another level of understanding when you are from and answering for a particular area that you are familiar with.
Also important to note that the Department of Mental Health says calls do not go unanswered. If someone in South Carolina can't get to it, then a call will be rerouted to a national call center in another state that also has access to help and resource information.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, help is available 24/7. You can call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. You can also chat online at 988lifeline.org. Stick with us. We'll have much more news and weather coming up after a short break.
First Alert Radar.
Well, everyone's brain does not work the same way. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker shows us a smartphone app that can make tasks easier.
This app and website is called Goblin Tools. It's sort of like ChatGPT, but it's a lot easier for many people to use. Goblin Tools focuses on 6 tools at the moment. Magic To Do simplifies tasks by giving step-by-step directions for whatever you want to do. Enter what you're working on, how to do laundry, for example. These spicy peppers let you choose how detailed you need the directions. Then hit enter. Goblin gives you a list and the order you should do them in. If you need help on a step, just tap this icon to break it down further. Enter anything. How do you create a YouTube video? Goblin breaks down any task into manageable steps. Great for people who have trouble staying on task or people who are easily distracted. Does a message sound condescending or could it be taken in the wrong way? The judge detects tone in text you have written or what you've received. Helpful for those who have trouble picking up social cues. The formalizer takes sentences and paragraphs and makes them sound more professional, formal, or casual. Estimator will show you approximately how long a task will take to complete. Compiler takes brain dumps and breaks them into a list of manageable tasks. And with the chef tool, enter what food is in your fridge or pantry, and it'll show you what you can make with just those ingredients. This app is brand new. The developer says these are just the first 6 tools. They're working on others. The app is only 99 cents. That's not a month. That's just one-time purchase, 99 cents. It's available for iPhone and Android devices. I'm Jamie Tucker, and Goblin Tools is the app of the day.
Well, love for the game of golf runs deep in Augusta and all across the CSRA. News 12 Sports Director Dan Booth joins us live now in the studio to tell us about a pair of twins making a name for themselves on the course.
Every year, the Drive, Chip, and Putt National Finals take place at Augusta National the Sunday before the start of the Masters. And a dynamic duo from right here in Augusta is one step closer to qualifying. Sadie and Addie Munns are 10-year-old twins. Both of them won their respective Drive, Chip, and Putt local qualifiers, making it to the second round. Their passion for the game came from a youth clinic at Westlake when they were younger, and that passion turned into love, which evolved into a healthy competition between 2 siblings. Competitions like the Drive, Chip, and Putt can be fierce, so it's important to the Munns family to never forget that having fun is the most important thing.
It's fun when I spend the moments with my family going to these tournaments, and then I get to spend time with them, or when I'm at the course at Westlake, I get to spend time with my dad and then Sadie, and then we get to play and have fun together. And after tournaments, sometimes we talk about our round together, and it's really fun, and we talk about what we did right and wrong.
Sadie won her division of the local qualifier at Champions Retreat a few weeks ago, and her sub-regional qualifier will be in Savannah on July 30th. Addie will play in a different sub-qualifier in Columbia on August 26th.
Remember, folks, we are looking at temperatures be near 100 over the next 4 afternoons. Remember, dangerous heat inside your car this time of year, so always check that back seat. Now look at the 7-day forecast just after the break.
What was a huge birthday for one Georgia woman who turned 80? Why she took to the sky for more than just her when Live at 5 returns.
I'm Chip Lewis with Augusta Medicare Specialist. Surprisingly, there is no Medicare orientation. Let us guide you through the entire process. For a commitment-free consultation, please give us a call or visit our website. Don't wait till you're 65 to call. Or u64.com.
Make this the Augusta, part of the Gerald Jones family.
Hey, Brett, I think we need a jingle.
What'd you have in mind?
I don't know yet.
Well, if you're taking something, come on.
Dangerous heat inside your car this time of year, so always check that back seat. Now look at the 7-day forecast just after the break.
What was a huge birthday for one Georgia woman who turned 80? Why she took to the sky for more than just her when Live at 5 returns.
I'm Chip Lewis with Augusta Medicare Specialist. Surprisingly, there is no Medicare orientation. Let us guide you through the entire process. For a commitment-free consultation, please give us a call or visit our website. Don't wait till you're 65 to call. Or u64.com.
Make this the summer event in time.
Remember, folks, we are looking at temperatures to be near 100 over the next 4 afternoons. Remember, dangerous heat inside your car this time of year, so always check that back seat. Now look at the 7-day forecast just after the break.
What was a huge birthday for one Georgia woman who turned 80? Why she took to the sky for more than just her when Live at 5 returns.
I'm Chip Lewis with Augusta Medicare Specialist. Surprisingly, there is no Medicare orientation. Let us guide you through the entire process. For a commitment-free consultation, please give us a call or visit our website. Don't wait till you're 65 to call. Or u64.com.
Make this the online today at AudiAugusta.com or shop hundreds of new and used vehicles in store at Augusta's exclusive Audi dealer, Audi Augusta, part of the Gerald Jones family.
Hey, Brett, I think we need a jingle.
What'd you have in mind?
I don't know yet.
Well, if you're taking something, come knock on my door.
Come and knock on my door.
If you're 64.
Well, check this out. An 80-year-old Georgia woman took to the sky to celebrate her birthday yesterday. This is Wilma Maid at Jump, Georgia in Sylvania. She recently lost both her husband and her dog and chose this as a way to celebrate them on top of her birthday. Her family tells us all her life that she was told to follow her dreams, and this was just one example of her doing just that. Wilma jumped from more than 10,000 feet, and who knows what 90 will bring for Wilma there. Awesome. I've always wanted to go skydiving, never done it. Riley, you said that you've done it.
It's a lot of fun. I think I actually went to the same spot Wilma did a number of years back, but it's definitely worth trying out, and if it's on your bucket list, go ahead and check it off and do it.
Awesome. Stick with us. We'll have much more news, weather, and sports coming up.
Street Brown.
At Battery Plus, we bring power to your life. From the first cast to the last catch, Battery Plus has what it takes to power your passion.
Olympus Granite, your vision in stone,